very warm welcome to this podcast episode. And I have a really great honor that I have a wonderful woman here today in my podcast. Her name is Dr. Dorit Bosch. And I would love if you just can talk about your heart and what's important for you. And who is Dr. Dorit Bosch?
Hello, Doris. I'm so glad to be in your podcast. I'm a little bit excited because this is something I usually don't have the opportunity to do, to talk about my inner spiritual way, because I'm a functionary. I'm working for the German government. I'm an intrapreneur, and I'm also an entrepreneur because I also have a business, and my business is the same what I'm doing in my real job. I'm doing transformation, cultural change in governments, and everybody who's working for the government. So I'm very excited to talk about my inner transformation that brings out the system transformation. This is my main topic. Thank you so much for inviting me over.
You're so welcome. And it was so amazing when I found you. It was on Instagram, and you were like that mind shift you want to have like in your work, and also like the work that people do in administration. And just like I started to send the link to everyone I know who's working in the administration for the government, because I figured out lately that my whole path was that I had a lot of jobs like working for the government lately. So, and we were talking about in the beginning of that podcast episode. And so, what comes up is like really that, yeah, fear of being seen of what who you are. So my whole life was like until I was 40 that I dropped that spiritual part like completely because it scared the hell out of me. And I had at least I would say not those wonderful supportive things in my job with the people around me. And so I admire what you do, and I really fully appreciate your courage to put that out into the world. And maybe we can find a way with that episode to encourage people who work in that system that they need it here urgently. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so true. When I had my coming out, I must say, around 3 years ago, I started my own podcast,
Mhm.
which is Let's Start. It's a word game in German because Staat is state, let's state. It sounds funnier in German though. And I was so afraid to talk about these transformation that is going on. And I was like yeah, I was in my baby shoes with social media. And I don't know if everybody knows, but for people that work for the governments, it's usually, well, it's very unusual to go out and talk in social media. When you do it, most of the people, they do it in a negative way because they're frustrated how things are going in the system. But to do it in a positive way, to go out and say, hey, I'm looking for people that think that we can do a good change in our governments for the better of the whole society and the whole economy. And to find positive examples and to talk positively, to strengthen what you think is good and to be strengthened, and not to talk so much about the negative things. Because, in a big system like that, you can talk a lot about negative things.
Yeah.
And so this was my approach to really empower people that might be a little bit like me and see what's working and what's not working, and to strengthen the things that are working.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, I was looking for people that talk with me because I always invite a guest over from the government that is like me. I just told you that the NATO has a very good name for this. It's spark cells. So we spark transformation within the system, and we do this system change from within. And in the beginning, no one wanted to talk to me. Everyone was so afraid. But am I allowed to do this? I have to. There is a paragraph in a law about functionaries, and It's
Yeah.
written that you have to hold back. You're not allowed to speak out about things that are going on in the system. But of course, this is not meant for positive change. It's not meant for if you have things to so we can connect with to do great project together. It's about like secrets, like Geschäftsgeheimnisse, secrets
Yeah,
that you have also in companies. Of course, you don't talk
of
about
course,
this
integrity
loudly.
is important. Yeah, and
Yeah.
loyalty. Yeah.
So you have to find the path where you can talk
Yes.
and where you cannot talk. So this was the first cultural change to start a podcast about this. And when I remember well, I think it was one of the first podcasts ever made for a government.
Yeah.
And now I think we have many, many, many. And I'm so glad that I'm here to talk about this and to spread the news
Mhm.
that we, of course, can talk about these things that are going on. And it's very important to do so.
Yeah. So you said that it's like that there are possibilities, and then you started with that podcast, which is so amazing, and then the people were afraid. So what brought the change, and what encourages, or what could help people to show more up?
I think I underestimated how what a great power it is that you have someone, for instance, like I say now like me, but there are many, many others too, that just do it. And you see, okay, they're doing it, they're pioneers, they just do something that is not that is usually not meant to be, and then they do it and nothing happens. I think the big surprise is, wow, you can do it and nothing happens to you. The opposite is true. I mean, you get more connections with people that are like-minded. You are seen much more also for your work because this mindset that you have when you go out and talk, this is a huge amount of courage that you need. And of course, you bring it into your projects, you bring it into your business relations. So you have a good mindset that is authentic in every way of your being. And I think it's very important to have role models that do that. And that's why I collect all of them in my podcast. And now I have 100 episodes and I collect them from all over. And people are so surprised. Wow, I didn't think that the commander of a special force in the police is so great in his mindset. I've said, of course he is.
Yes.
So I want to show that state and government, it's not like Kafka with closed doors, you know, in his room and in his novel, The Castle. It's about people that have shiny eyes, that have great hearts, that have a high purpose. And of course, there are also many other people that forgot that they have that. And I am someone who wants to remember them, that they
Yeah.
are the same, that this is why they came to serve,
Yes.
to serve us all, and to remember them on their purpose, to remind them on their purpose. And I think this is the main purpose that I have for my being entrepreneur and entrepreneur.
This is so amazing. And what really pops up again is the word fear. So that how can we deal with that? I mean, if we go like to fear in a sense of a emotion that comes up, and we look at it as a psychological thing, and that it's like we feel that inside of us, and it can be really a strong feeling. I just like, yeah, suggest like to do your nervous system work, that you feel more safe, and also connect with people you feel safe, that they don't talk about, like they don't judge you, so you can find your tribe. And what also pops up is I like the things really to make them practical in daily life. So I think I'm a kind of, maybe you too, a kind of a visionary. So we have maybe a vision for the planet, or we have vision for a country, or we have like, we talk about love and peace and like shining your light. And how can we do that with tiny little things in our daily life when we work for the government? How can we do that?
I think the hardest work is to um, mm, to stay authentic even when people come close to you in their very cold,
Yes.
mechanical way of being a functionary in a government. So people think that it's professional if you act in a certain way that
Yes.
very far away from the way we usually act when we are with friends or we want to connect. So it's this distanced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in human design, I'm a projector, so I feel that very strongly when people are so, and then I try to overcome my own fears to be rejected. And this is, I think, the most important thing, the own fear to be rejected, which I have very much.
Yeah.
And also when you go out and speak loud, what people think about you, what do you do to your career? Are you going to get good jobs anymore? Because this is this fear of being rejected if when you belong to this state family. I mean, this is a decision to go to the state because you want to belong to that state family. So you always have that fear. Okay, when you are the one that is the misfit, you might get kicked out of the system, and they let you feel this very subtle. I mean, it's not, no one talks to you, but you feel it. You are different. You're on a distance. And then I found out that it's not only me who feels that. The whole system acts like that because, of course, people want to get a good position, so they try to be better. They try to kick you out. This is very it's a culture that we have. And then I found out it's not only me who suffers that. Even on the tops of the jobs in the government, people act like that, and you always have this fear of being rejected. And when you see in the news, also politicians, which is a very different system, they also act like that. And then mm, to feel it's right to address this at this time, when you feel this rejection, that no, it's the culture of the system, it's not you, it's not personal, and you try to approach someone in a human way and to say,
Yeah.
hey, you know, I have the impression something is happening in your life and it's really hard for you now. You might like to talk about it. I'm here for you. And this is so different. I mean, it's a very low approach, low scale approach, but you can do that with everybody. I do that with my bosses, and I have the impression it's good for them. And
Yeah.
I have the impression I can do something with a good purpose, because when I strengthen someone else who has a very important position and a very yes, important project, then I also can help them to bring in something very good. Why not?
Yes, of course. And that we support each other, that we be more human. So we are human 4 hours a day. We are human and we have emotions. Yeah. We have families. We have like the normal things. And in the last years, I was teaching a lots of seminars, also like for like city administration, and we all want the same. We want to be happy. So yeah, we want to be happy. So what really pops up is like I do lots of inner child work. I don't know if you're like familiar with that. And there's like this, like, why are we doing this? So what is like being grown up? What is like what is it? What is the word professional? Like, is it like you skip like parts apart from you? What is it? Like,
Yeah.
looking good dressed and fancy and like neutral. No, we humans and we have needs, and it's so cool because um I had the chance to interview Archie Del Rey. It was a podcast episode about relationships. It's number 40. And he said a wonderful sentence. It said like, yeah, we can act like this, but it doesn't make the need go away. So if we have like, so I am like the one, I like to talk to people. If I have like a problem or something, I just like I can press it down. it helps me so much more, like as you said, like to talk and support each other because we have needs and then we don't have to suppress them, and we probably don't like craving for more coffee and sugar and compensation strategy because we have those needs, like to connect, be social being.
Exactly. I'm so glad that you're talking about your work because this is exactly what we need. And you were part of municipal administration too, you told me,
Yes,
and now you
it's
work for
employed.
the
Yes,
administration.
yes.
Yeah. And there are many of us, that say, okay, I think I'm wrong in this system. I can do more good if I go out of the system and work for the system, which is very funny. So in my network, there's so many people that are, I call them healers in the system, but there are also many that are with two steps. One step is in the system, one step is outside, like me. I do both. And there are people that go out of the system and heal the system from outside. And every choice is a good choice because we strengthen the system. And I'm so glad that there are people like you who know the system and help the system from outside. This is so important because sometimes I have the impression we hear more when someone like you comes from outside with this knowledge, then we hear people that are in the system. People in the system are not heard so much, but they're still very important.
Yeah, but I have both. So I worked in the system, so I know how it was when I was in the office and what helped me also to build up like
Exactly.
my health and my energy and all that stuff. So I developed a lots of like technique and tools, and then I try now to help people. And I remember that one once told me, if you want to change something or if you want to change the system, you have to go into the system to see how it works.
Definitely. So if we address this to people that already work in the system and don't have a side hustle or
Yes.
don't have an own company that work for the system, also these people in the system are important, even if it's sometimes harder for them because they think they're alone. So that's why I do my Mindshift Festival. I collect people,
Yeah,
the
please talk
smart
about that. It's amazing.
from everywhere, and I just do a festival of transformation. And of course, we talk about great projects that are made with the new mindset or approaches that empower this mindset, or how to find people with the same mindset. So it's like, yes, a summit of pioneers of new work, new mindset in governments. And now we're also in Austria, in Switzerland, Denmark. I mean, it's huge. You can scale it on the whole world because everyone is on the run now. Everything is in the change.
Amazing.
It's so great. I mean, it's like a huge wave. So we're not alone. Even the people in the system are not alone, even if they feel alone. I know how lonely you can feel in a system, but you are not. This is a very important message I would like to address. And the people that work for the system, like you, are so important to us because you strengthen us. And now, here with your beautiful podcast, you give me the audience to talk about this, which I really appreciate a lot.
Me too. And what pops up again is like when you feel lost,
Mhm.
when you feel like, I can't, it's like it's draining your energy, connect with people. And if it's not possible to connect with people inside, then like listen to my podcast, connect with Dorit Bosch, just like that you have a new energy, that you are create and strengthen that field. And I feel like that those people, they might be in that, like, I don't know, I have no expression for that. You feel like I can't connect with them. What I feel is maybe they are in much more fear than you. So why do they act that way? Because, like, we are all spiritual beings, and also like quantum physics is proven, so it's science. So when we talk about energy, that it becomes normal. So this is what I'm like literally longing, craving for. And I remember, so um I've been teaching seminars now for around about 9 years, something, 10, 9 years, and how I developed. And I'm still afraid and scared sometimes because now it happened 2 times that I did a channeling, like during a normal like health seminar, and I was afraid. I was literally like, "Oh my God, what is happening now? Do they just like book me anymore, or what is like?" And it was good because when you show up more, and this is what I experienced, that your audience change. So my participants are so open. They are wonderful. They ask like questions. I'm so like, someone asked me about, we talked like about drinking and health and water, and she was like talking about gemstones. So we were talking about, you know what I mean? And it doesn't
Exactly.
have to be like in big steps. You can do it in small little steps.
Yes, and to allow yourself to be
Yes.
human, to
Yeah.
allow yourself to be friendly, to
Yeah.
allow yourself not to participate on this bossy culture, makes up a space within your office, around you, like your aura. It's this space. And you will attract people who feel comfortable in that space. Of course, you push away people that think, oh, I don't want to be part of this. But they're not so many. Maybe there are some of them that are
Yeah.
loud, but from deep from within. I think also these people are affected by this, and they feel safe with us. Even when we're healers in systems, I think it's also our responsibility to make people feel safe, and not to get into that bossy play that we usually have in a professional environment. So I would like to share this podcast also in my audience. And Doris, I would like to ask you, what kind of courses do you do? So maybe there's someone who listens to us who would like to work with you and book you for assistance.
Would be a pleasure to me. So, um, I do lots of health, like holistic health seminars, so like mental training, but I also like talking lately about a lot about the nervous system because the people are stressed out. And so it's like so important like that we regulate ourselves because when we regulate it and I don't want to go too much deeper in that topic because it's a huge topic. When we talk about the nervous system, we also talk about energy. So it's really deeply connected. And when we talk about connection, we talk about energy, and we talk about also about as the nervous system. It's called like the ventral state. And when we are in that state, we are out of fear, and we deeply connected to ourselves. And so I can connect with you.
Mm. So you work on a fearless administration.
I really want to bring people closer to themselves.
Yes,
They
yes.
really reconnect with themselves. And a huge topic of mine is also when we talk about health, that we work all day long on a computer. And it has an impact on our energy when we sit in front of a computer. And we sit, and it has an impact on our spine and the muscles and all that stuff. And then we probably have headache, and we have like the body is not meant to be sitting all day long. So what can we do that we support like our inner system and also to raise up our energy? I do that probably with cold water and breathing techniques and going outside. And the last time I was teaching a seminar, just like put off my shoes. So I was like barefoot that I can like connect more because we have so many muscles in our feet. So when you are a healer, you're probably transforming a lot, and also to be really proud of what you do because no one sees that. You sit there, you feel all that energies, and it's hard work. So it's not like
Yes.
what you type on a computer. Yeah, it's inside of you, and you feel maybe all those energy, and you breathe in your heart, and then you transform them through your heart. This is tough work, guys. Do you
It
have that
is.
experience too?
Oh, yeah, it is. I can tell. And it's good that to know that there are people like you who have the access to us and that the system opens up more and more to people like you, so we get that help, because government always works with people that help them. But we have a focus on people that do PowerPoints for us to do strategy, which is great and important. But we also need people that help the people in the government, that help to empower us. And this is my focus, to drag people into the system, to open the door from within so people can come inside. And I want to introduce people like you to the government so that they can do good for us and for the system, because the work on the people is a work on the system, is a work on the whole society. And this is like from the small to the big. And this is very important. A PowerPoint is great, but your work, I think, is now in these days very necessary, and we need it desperately.
And oh, I have no words for this. Like my inner child is like jumping up and down. I'm so just like happy because
Yes.
how can I just like start it? I literally last time I didn't use any computer anymore. It's
Mm.
just like being in a room with people, and sometimes I wish we would not sit in a room, we sit in the woods. Or we just like
Yes.
connect that we can like that really situations. But what I want to put out, if you feel like you are on a path, and sometimes I feel real like, yeah, all alone too, because how I teach is really different. Because I
Mm.
don't have, maybe we have a topic which is really important, and I really try hard also to reconnect what's like the expectations like of me as a trainer. But I start my seminar with just like, tell me what you need, guys. And this goes like maybe for half the day. Sometimes I have 2 days, and we have like only one day that I try to listen and to support. And this has no schedule. And then we go with the flow. And then I'm just like, well, I see myself as like a space holder, just like someone who is just there and is listening, and to reconnect people in the room because the wisdom is already within. So I can't tell you anything about, because you know already everything. I'm just here, yeah, to reconnect you. And I also like uh also feel like that, how can I say that? To put out to any kind of trainer to be to trust yourself more and into your intuition. You can have like all the topics and you can have your PowerPoint point, but this is not how energy works. Energy does not follow any strategy. So energy is just like there, and you go with that impulses.
Definitely. And what you said about the space holder, I think one of the most difficult things to do in government or in the professional environment, also people from big companies come to the festivals because they say, wow, it's the same issue in our companies. And I said, okay, let's join and let's exchange our experiences. To hold that space is one of the most difficult things, because what we do is, in a professional environment, it's like in your own house. You put so many things. You buy one sofa, two sofas, three sofas, and then you find out, oh wow, I don't have a space where to sit or to go because there's so many sofas in my living room. But we do so many things, and I always call it fake work. We do so much fake work that does not have an output, does not have a purpose, just because to show, oh, I'm productive. I think these times
Yes,
are gone.
yes.
We
It's
don't need
still
that
a program
anymore.
inside of me. I'm self-employed and I still have the program. Yet there is no one who is like, say, do this or that, but it's still inside of me. I feel like, oh my God, no, I have to do something that I can show that I did it. Like we
Yes.
look with
No, no,
our
no, no,
eyes, we
no.
don't feel anymore. Yes.
No. So I also I think what you said, what you do in your seminars, I think everyone can start that also in their own work right now. Not today, because today is holiday, but tomorrow you can start this in your office. You can go there, you can start with a breathe session. It's not odd, people. It's really not odd. In my Mindshift Festival, there's a guy from the Special Forces and he does breathe work. He's the coolest guy on earth. And he does it in his uniform, which is great. You cannot you
How
cannot
cool
believe
is that?
how many cool people are in the government. You just have to find them, or you just join the Manchester Festival. There you find them all. And also from NATO, you can have a specific view on the specific organizations, but in these organizations, there are people working and they work on the inner transformation and they work on the good. And to hold a space is one of the most important and most difficult things to
Yes.
keep a space clean energetically. And I also work with energy. And when I do workshops, because we are our well, the people from my community, we started a project. It's Mindshift Angels or Mindshift Agents. We didn't decide yet. We don't know. Well, it's and we're angels anyway. So it's like healing the system from within. We go to different organizations and we do little workshops, like you explained. But you also can start with this right now. You can start with doing these things right now. You can do a breath work. You can just skip the computers during a meeting because no one needs to, whether you're present in the moment or your work on your computer, but you don't need both in your work. And I also work like that on a high level with state secretaries where we do meetings and where we say, okay, this meeting is without computer. And no, they were not happy about it, but we did it and it was great. And we do strategies that are with high energy. We do high energy strategies. To you, Doris, I can explain it to you. Um, we also have PowerPoints and stuff like that, but we also do energy work. Of course, we don't explain it. We don't talk about it, but we do it. You don't
Mm.
have to be understood by everyone what you do because people don't understand this. It's too new. You're a pioneer. Pioneers are people that are going somewhere where no one is. No one will be there to shake your hands and to say,
No,
great job. I'm
no,
waiting for you
no.
because pioneers are all on their own. Alexander von Humboldt didn't go to the jungle. There was no one who said, hey, welcome, good that you're here. I write a book about you. He did it on his own. And after you discover this new land, you have the responsibility, and we talked about this further, Doris. You have the responsibility to reach out, to widen your scope, to go online, to go on social media, to do a podcast, to go on a podcast for Doris. At Doris Podcast, my podcast, there are different other podcasts too, to talk about your experience. It's your responsibility to spread the news that you discovered a new land, that you discovered that you can do a meeting with state secretaries without computer because this is a new information. You have to spread this. This is your responsibility. And I think it's such an exciting new age. I'm so excited every day I go to the office. I'm like, what do I explore new? This is a totally different approach to being in a government. Of course, there are other days too. Of course, there are. There are also days where I'm shooken by fear and by frustration. Of course, there are. But when you're a healer within, you have to do that experience to help others to deal with that experience. So it's like a Fortbildung. It's like how do you
Yeah,
say Fortbildung? It's
educational training.
yeah,
Yes,
for free training. Every frustration moment is a for free training for you.
yes, it is. And it makes you stronger from inside out.
Exactly. So I say thank you.
I
It's
say thank you too.
not in the
And
first moment, to be honest. Sometimes I have to to kick my boxing punching ball
because then
or
it's
go
not
in the
fun.
woods or take off my shoes and walk along in the woods. But after that, it's a good experience and you can transform it and you can bring it in and you can help others. This is our way.
Thank you so much. And do you want to talk about like female new age leadership. Do you have like any ideas? Because I feel like that when we talk about business, um, whether it's in an administration working for the government, we are women. We are women, and that energy is like different. And we have gifts, and those gifts were literally cracked down in the past, like when we talk about like the witchcraft, whatever. So it was bad. And I still have that in my system, that fear, because it happened to us. So we can't like deny that it happened. But these are really, really wonderful gifts. And they may be not masculine. And they different. And also maybe you want to make peace with that word different, because we are all different. You are different. And this is your gift too, that you are different. And I see that planet, that anyone on this planet is a tiny little piece of puzzle. And it's important that you're here. Just like, this is important that you're here. I repeat that. So, what I experienced lately is I did 20 years triathlon, so I was an athlete. I was in like surrounded by a lot of like men, and I tried to adapt that also in business. I looked at business and I had most of the time I had like male bosses, and I looked how that worked and I tried to adapt. And then like a couple of years ago, it was like a really weird situation. I was in an apartment, I lived in Nuremberg, and then like Saint-Germain, probably know him. He is like, I don't know the expression in English, like a master, aufgestiegener Meister, like a master of, I don't know how to say that in English. And he said, I'm going into you right now. And I said, what? What's like happening here? And I felt like this is crazy. I can't never talk about that. So, and then it was like, what I want to say is you have a spiritual guidance and they guide you, and you have a spiritual team, and to reconnect because they want the best for the planet and the best for your soul development. So what I got like a training. I would call her maybe like a part of me who is a shaman, and I was never aware because I never got a training for that. So there things popped up that when we are healers, that you have everything within you, and you probably don't have to do a training for that,
Oh no.
because they support you, they will guide you along the way. It's like
Oh.
with marketing, whatever. I got like it's like it's amazing, but it does not work like what the people say how it should work, or what societies say how it should work, because it has no schedule. It pops
Mm.
up then when you're ready. So what I discovered was like there is a lots of shame triggers about being a female and like the things. And I don't want to put out what I do, but maybe some ideas. In which dresses do you really feel feminine in business? What makes you feel safe and comfortable but not dim your light? Today I'm wearing like pink. We were talking about pink. It's a color, like it has to be seen. And there's a part say, oh my God, no, like the girly stuff, I'll just like put that away. No, I love that. And this is what you're talking about, like being authentic. What is your identity? And please don't press it down anymore. And let's also talk about the womb. Yeah, we are women. And there is like so much magical stuff. And we were talking about being bare feet. So, how can you be like female, human with all of your emotions and all of your energy? And then maybe we can change the system, that we look back. What did we do on this planet to look highly educated? Like in the past, the people don't go into the sun because if you're brown, they might think you work on the field. No, we need the sun. So, do you know what I want to say? To reconnect with our very own true nature. I think this is what I want to put out into the world.
Mm. I have in the hmm, this is a very huge question. In the
Yes.
normal context, like female leadership, female connections, female networks, um, I had a real big problem with that because we kind of talk about things where we make us smaller than we are because we are talking about how patriarchy rejects us and how we deal with it. It was not so powerful. But since I'm on my path, I found women that really find a new way and they're real pioneers. I mean, not women that sit in the board because they're a woman, but women that uh, go their way, no matter if they sit in a board or they are ministers, that stay female. I think this is a new type of women that don't neglect their femininity. And this is something totally different. So I also have a lot of male bosses. I like men that, I specifically like men that are independent, which is even harder for them than to be a woman because independent men are also rejected by the patriarchal men.
Oh, wow.
So independent men that connect with women have a very, very hard stand in the group of men that connect. Just have a look at that. It's really I work a lot with independent men, and they have the same problem than women, maybe even more, but they don't care. They connect with women and they load up and they together with the women that live this new femininity, it makes a totally new way to
Yes.
find out how to live humanity and to connect women and men in a higher good, in a
Yes.
very good way. So sometimes it's even more frustrating when you have a lady boss that is more men than any man.
Yeah.
This makes me so, and they are so focused on being in that board, being a minister, being whatever, a state secretary. They're so
Mhm.
focused on that. You cannot get closer to them. Sometimes it's easier to get close to talk open to a patriarchal man than to a woman that decided to join patriarchy and to neglect their femininity. And this is something I found out I would like to connect with
Yes.
pioneers that appreciate this new femininity, no matter if they're men or women.
Mhm.
I
And
have a little charger problem, dear Doris. My computer says the battery is almost running down. I
so
don't know if we
we
can
go to
interrupt.
the files, and I can totally support what you say. So it's not about like rejecting to lift it up on a high level because you need both energies, and they are
Yeah,
very important.
definitely. And I think this is so important.
Yes.
Um,
Maybe we can do
that
another
what
podcast episode
femininity
about
is.
that.
One last thing, what femininity is for me to, when you think, when everyone acts, not to act, when
Yes.
everyone is tensioned, to be relaxed,
Power of
when
resistance.
people try to push things, to go back, to yielding, really going back, going into your energy, waiting a little bit. So it's the opposite. It's the opposite of taking action. It's to hold in and to check in and to say, okay, what's important now? Who is important now? What is the wise step to do next? This is for me femininity in the highest in the highest form in that professional surrounding, and of course taking action when it's the right moment. And to find the right moment, this is the second thing, is the chiron, the right moment to act. And this you can really find it only from your own wisdom. There is no training in the world who can tell you this. You don't need a training. I totally think the same.
Yeah. So when your battery is low, I would love if you can put out into the world how people can connect with you. You have a website, you're on Instagram. So
Yes, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm a lot on LinkedIn because there is a professional environment, but also on Instagram. My name is Dr. Dorit Bosch. I always say the doctor. I'm a lawyer because in my world this is important. So For me, it's not important that you call me doctor, but Dr. Dorit Bosch. And you can find me on the Mindshift festivals. We're doing several in a year, and we're doing the next in Vienna. And you can find me on Let's Start podcast. I also have international episodes, and I'm always happy to get to know some people from your beautiful community, Doris. Maybe someone is there who says, "Oh, I work for the government from the local lender or the federal government." No matter, we take them all, international governments that want to connect with my community. We have a great WhatsApp group, and it's we connect and exchange ideas, and it's incredible what kind of great corporations and projects are initiated there. It's yeah, this is real transformation.
It is. I thank you so much. I could talk to you for hours afterwards. And all the words and all the work you do. I highly appreciate that. I have no words for that. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Doris. Thank you for reaching out. And thank you to your beautiful community to listening to this podcast.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.